everyone, and welcome back to another Storytime video. Today, I am going to talk about something a little bit different than a Halloween type story. I was going to talk about the different things I dressed up as for Halloween as a kid today, and I was all set to do that. But then it occurred to me this morning that, it's fast approaching. The election is this Tuesday. So I thought, hey, why don't I talk about the high school elections for class president, and all that other stuff. Honestly, I don't remember all that other stuff that you run for, like Treasury, I think. I don't know. I would have to look at an old yearbook. It goes to show how much I cared about those positions. And I will dive into that later on in the video. Now, this is actually a story I was going to talk about 4 years ago, back in 2016, but that I simply forgot. And I'm glad that I didn't forget about this story, because who knows if I'll be telling stories in 2024 or not. I kinda doubt it. I mean, I don't like to guarantee anything, especially with the fact that I'm eventually going to run out of stories, and the fact that it seems like YouTube becomes more and more unstable with every passing year that goes on. But YouTube being unstable is another topic for another day. Well, it's another story for another day. But without further ado, I'm going to talk about the high school class elections. Excuse me, the high school class elections that I remember. So, I particularly remember freshman and sophomore year. I guess because, well, sophomore year, you voted on that stuff in freshman year. For freshman year, you voted on that stuff, I think in September. And given the fact that I was still trying to adjust to a new school, particularly in the first couple months, and new classmates all that year, schoolmates, having to deal with all that. As beforehand, I went to a small private school, which I have several stories that I need to talk about from there that I have also forgotten. That I've forgotten to tell. But regardless, I guess I remember the first two more than the last two, because the first two I was trying to get used to, like, 1,600 people. Yes, 1,600 or so people. It was 1,200 to 1,600. It was more like an average of 1,450, I would say, students or so. I don't know. There was like 200 or 300. Well, 2 or 3. Yeah. Well, it was like, let's just say 1,200 or 1,300. But regardless, that's a lot of kids to go to school with at any given point. And I think it was about that number all throughout my high school. So I was trying to get used to that. And it did take me some time to get adjusted. And so I was paying attention more, is basically my point, compared to later on. So it was kind of crazy for the sophomore one in particular. There were a lot, and I mean a lot, of election posters in the halls. Like, I felt like you could not go, like, 10 or 15 feet without seeing vote so-and-so for president, or vote so-and-so for editor, or whatever. Oh, vote so-and-so for treasury, and vote so-and-so for vice president, and all that other stuff. I have heard that all you basically do is that you, sit in meetings after school sometimes. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard, and, that's not really something I would want to do. I mean, having a hobby right outside of school, if you've, sports practiced, and I would say that staying at the school for something actually like a club, if you were in, chess club or something, that would be something I'd be more into, but not to sit at a table discussing things like that. Stuff that I don't want to discuss. It's not, well, some of it might be stuff I want to discuss, but still, I guarantee you it's not all the time stuff I want to discuss. And plus, I just want to go home. I always wanted to go home after school, especially if I had to work later that day, or that night. Yeah, if I had to work at that local Mexican restaurant that I've talked about before, I just wanted to go home and enjoy myself before I had to deal with some stupid customers and stuff. They weren't all stupid, but still, you had those stupid customers sometimes that would come in and just drive you wild, just drive you nuts. But again, different topic for different day. Now, so running in the class elections was never really my thing. That's not, I could, but the thing I established early on is that it's mainly a popularity contest, and in that first year I wasn't that popular. Although later on, junior and senior year, practically everybody knew my name. People I didn't even know knew my name, were like, "Hey, James." It's like, I'm thinking, first off, I don't know your name, and I haven't told you my name. It's like, how do you know my name? That's... So, I think senior year I could have run for something and won it. But again, it's like, if I'm in school and I'm trying to work, I don't also want to spend time trying to campaign and get people to vote for me that, for a position that I'm going to have to spend a lot more time doing stuff that may or may not be in my control, when turns out I don't really have a whole lot of power. It's like, what kind of power does the senior president have? It's like, okay, well, you get to, or at least, I think the senior president every year got to say what the morning announcements were, which was basically like, hey, this is what's for lunch, this is what's going on in the school, that kind of stuff. I think the senior president, every year I was there, did that. But other than that, I have no idea what kind of special power the senior president or anybody has. Now, if anyone would like to elaborate or tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right down below, then go right ahead. This is just what I know, or what I think I know. I may be right, I may be wrong, I don't know. But, it's either a popularity contest, basically, or whoever can hand out the coolest stuff. Now, I remember, for that too, I got, some pizza candy, that was cool. Unfortunately, candy's not gonna get me to vote for you anymore. It's like, come on. We are 14, 15 years old. If candy is going to sway you one way or the other, then either you don't care, or you care a little bit too much in order to have one little thing sway you one way or the other. That's just what I think. It's like, come on now, we're not in first grade. We're in high school. A piece of candy is not going to get me to vote for you any more or any less than it did before. But I never really said anything because it's free candy. Who's gonna deny that? It's like a miniature Halloween, if you want to put it that way. Just to tie it all together. But yeah, so, and I guess in addition to that, you do get your picture there with all the other people, like the vice president, the treasury, the president, whatever, in the yearbook in a picture for like the freshman, the sophomore, the junior, and the senior, that stuff. But, and I guess that's the other thing you get as well. But I really don't remember what else. I mean, I think, now, this might be a little, I did get one of these my last year, so my perception might be a little bit skewed, but I think that getting a senior elective is cooler than being elected as something as a senior. Maybe not president per se. I think president might be a little bit cooler than an elective. Maybe. It depends on what elective it is. It really depends. And even then, it's like neck and neck. But yes, I am serious. No joke. I did win a senior elective. I'm not going to say what it is. Again, different topic. Different video. And I'm also going to let you guys try to guess what senior elective I won. It's not something you guys are going to be expecting. And, the kind of sucky thing is that Susan, if you guys remember, that's that crazy ex I've talked about before. Susan won an elective too. So that kind of put a damper on me winning one in my mind. That is how much I hate her. Still, years later, that still puts a damper on it in my mind. Thankfully, we weren't voted to the same elective. Now, I kind of think that that's a popularity contest, too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But yes, so I'm glad that I didn't miss out on the chance to talk about high school elections this time around. I kind of hate that I missed out on it 4 years ago, but oh well, I got my chance today to talk about it. And so yes, guys, I do believe that will do it for this storytime video, and thanks storytime video. I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys! Thank you all for watching.